All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for United Way COVID Community Connections. My name is Alyssa Trench. I'm with United Way. And joining me, we have some ladies that are taking care of some kindness projects throughout our community. So we have been seeing a lot during this COVID pandemic. Kindness is something, unity is something that we're seeing in a lot of our news broadcasts, commercials, things like that. We're seeing them in a variety of ways. We're seeing people stepping up and, fostering homeless pets. We're seeing the curbside, encouraging sidewalk chalk signs that children are doing for frontline workers, or just encouraging messages for our neighbors. We're seeing grocery store runs for, our elderly, free meals, things like that. So in a time of such crisis, I think it's so nice to see so many kind gestures throughout our community. So today, joining us to focus on how our own Lebanon community is coming together during this challenging time, we have Jolyn Foltz. She's from Give Forward Lebanon. We're going to hear about that. We have Nikki Maurer, who is working with kindness videos for frontline workers. And then we also have Reynolds, who is doing a Front Steps project. So I think today we're going to go ahead and start with Nikki with the video. And I'll just remind everybody that from home who is watching that you can definitely type in some questions in the chat box during our time together in this discussion. So you can take it away, Nikki. Tell us about what you've been doing.
Thanks, Alyssa. Yeah, we're really excited. I think in light of all the different precautions that the hospital is taking with regard to, not allowing visitors in, and they're being very careful about what type of materials they're allowing into the hospital, we were trying to find a way to thank our frontline healthcare workers and just give them extra motivation, or just let them know that people were thinking about them. And so I partnered with Eric Souillard with Annubis Production, and he is collecting all the videos. So it's very simple. We're just asking people to make very short or long videos thanking our frontline healthcare staff, and then we're going to pipe them into the hospital and get them in the hands of the people who really need to see them. So you can email your videos, or you can post them in a Google Drive that Eric set up. And we're really excited to see how the community can come together and just send a word of gratitude to the people who are on the front lines every day.
That's really awesome. So how did this whole thing come into fruition? Where did this idea come from?
Well, I was talking to Mike Kuhn, who is one of the development folks over at the Good Sam, and he has been working really hard to try to figure out how to get donations into the hospital. And he and I were sort of brainstorming about what might be appropriate. The regulations and policies change every single day. So we were just brainstorming, and that's how the idea of videos came up, of course, because they don't have to be delivered and nobody is touching them, etc. So, and it was a way that we could maybe spread the message as broadly as possible throughout the entire county.
That's great. So why did you choose to spearhead this, Nikki?
Oh, that's a great question, because I don't feel like I'm spearheading anything. I feel like I'm just facilitating, people who want to say thank you and how to get it into the hospital. In my position, I'm the director of the Community Health Council, and actually my position is sponsored through a WellSpan grant. So I do have the ability to get to the right folks at the hospital and sort of navigate those waters, maybe slightly easier than some other people. But yeah, I definitely don't feel like I'm spearheading it. I just feel like I'm a conduit. I'm a conduit.
That's excellent. So how can the community get involved if this is a project that they feel they're passionate about and would like to join in?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, it's we can go to We Are Lebanon PA on Facebook. That is sort of the group that's collecting the photos. Eric at Annubis, that's one of his Facebook pages, and we're really excited to partner with them. He does a lot of really great positivity campaigns around the county, and there's instructions there. We also have instructions on the Community Health Council website and on our Facebook page. So like I said, you can either upload your video to the Google Drive, or you can email it. There's an email address. But I think Eric was willing to even take videos that are posted to the comments in Facebook and flip them around. So the plan is to kind of create a video channel where they can kind of run on a loop.
Oh, excellent. And then these are being shared with the folks who are working on the front lines at Good Sam. Is that
right? Yep, that's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else you'd like to add with the project?
No, I'm just really grateful to you guys to help spread the word. I think it's great. The United Way is such a great connector, and we're really excited to be able to talk about the project today. So thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Nikki. Thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and we'll talk with Jolyn Foltz now with Give It Forward Lebanon. And this is something that I know I had gotten some alerts on my own Facebook about. So I'm excited to speak with you, Jolyn. Tell us a little bit about your project.
Yeah, so Give Forward Lebanon is an initiative that I started. It kind of has a dual purpose of supporting local restaurants, but then also providing food to individuals who are in need.
That's awesome. Great. How did this project start for you? What made you begin?
So as all of the restrictions started coming down related to COVID-19, I knew that local restaurants, small businesses would really struggle through that. And I wanted to think of a way that I could help. I thought of the idea of pay it forward boards. Like some restaurants have a board where people can pay for food and put it up on a board for someone else to claim. So I thought, how could I apply that virtually, that people could do that to support local restaurants during this time as well. So that's how it came together.
Excellent. So what is your background that kind of gave you this idea to start that during this time?
I don't know that I have too much of a background. So churches are closing as well. And when my church first closed and we could no longer meet in the building, we were encouraged to find ways to be the church in our community. So this was just something that I felt particularly kind of nudged to figure out a way that we can help local restaurants. So that's kind of what directed me towards it. My husband and I recently launched a nonprofit that's not really related to restaurants or anything, but just in the past year, we've been working on that. So all of the connections and kind of learning of existing community supports and leaders, I would say made me feel more confident to be able to move forward with something like this. Whereas in the past, I might have thought, well, I don't know how to do this. So that equipped me in that way. Mm-hmm.
That's great. So can you share some of the partners who are participating in this program?
Yes, so we have quite a few restaurants who are participating, and we have those listed all on our Give Forward Lebanon Facebook page. And then we also, as this has been going on for about 2 weeks now, and we started learning that one of the barriers to people claiming the meals was that they didn't have transportation to go and pick it up. The church that I attend, LCBC Lebanon, they had already in place a program where they had volunteers who were going and picking up grocery orders and delivering them to populations that are more vulnerable and couldn't go out themselves. So I reached out to my pastor to see if there was a way we could work together to kind of expand their services to include pickup and delivery of meals for people who that transportation was a barrier for them.
Wow, that's excellent. Great work. Can you tell the community how they can get involved if it's something that, again, they feel like they want to maybe have some dinner out tonight, take it home and help someone in need?
Yeah, so we have a Give Forward Lebanon Facebook page. You can go there and check out and see what restaurants are participating. And if you can afford it, go ahead and call them and order something to donate to the program. But also just sharing and liking the page just to get the word out to even more people is helpful as well.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for putting that together. It's a creative idea, so well done.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to share about it. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Lindsey, let's hear about you and your Front Porch project. This is such a cool idea as well. Tell us more.
Okay, so the Front Steps project was started by a photographer in Boston, and she started the initiative to raise money for her community during the quarantine. And she made it available to other photographers as long as you followed her guidelines, which were to make sure you're social distancing when you're going to homes and also not exchanging money. So basically, I would go to a house and the family would come out on the front porch of their front steps and I would take their photos. And then later on, edit them and send them to them digitally. And then basically, in return, they didn't pay me anything, but I asked them to make a charitable contribution to an organization. And then they posted a photo, they hashtag Front Steps Project, and also Little Things Photography. and then shared who they made their contribution to.
That's awesome. So what made you decide to go ahead and do this project?
So a friend of mine saw somebody else on her page that lives in another state, and they had the hashtag the Front Steps Project, and she sent me a message and she said, you totally should do this. And I had been wanting to help out some way. I'm a teacher also, and so I'm missing my students and missing my school, and I'm not taking pictures right now, so I really did want to get involved somehow, and I just didn't know how. So when she told me about it, I loved it, and I just kind of ran with it. I put it out to my Facebook friends and family just to kind of see the interest, and immediately I almost had 30 families saying they wanted to do it. So I kind of mapped out a route and looked at the areas of where the people lived, and so for 3 nights, my daughter was in 6th grade, and she was my GPS, and she would text me to say we were on their way, or we were on their way. So they could be on the front porch waiting for me so we could practice social distancing. And so we ended up doing 33 families. One of them, we did 19 families from 4 to 8 o'clock. We were driving around. But then the governor had put in the order of the stay-at-home order, so we had to stop. So I still have about 20 families that I never got to. It was pretty awesome to be able to do that in just a short amount of time, and just the interest and how the community wanted to give, despite everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. And do you think that a project like this is something that even after, we're through the pandemic and we're, done with this challenging time, do you think this is something that could potentially take off? That maybe more photographers would get in this groove and want to, dedicate their time to doing this for local nonprofits?
I hope so. I really love it. And I know now I had to stop because of the order. And I was thinking to myself, what could I still do? So I'm kind of throwing around the idea that maybe once a year, maybe around my birthday, which is the end of March, I will do like a Enjoy the Little Things weekend and put it out to my clients and family and friends and do something similar where people will then donate to a charity rather than paying. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. That's so generous of you to do as well, because it certainly takes up some time traveling and editing pictures and taking the pictures. So I think it's a wonderful project for sure. Thank you for doing that. Ladies, do you have anything that you would like to add about your projects individually? Just kind of share with the community. Any comments? No.
Thank you. To the community, so giving and wonderful. So.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see the community kind of come together and try and figure out ways we can help each other.
Absolutely. I think it's encouraging during these times. I think it makes everyone feel like they're not alone, that as a community, we're all standing together, supporting one another, and getting really creative and finding ways to help each other. United Way has their own COVID relief fund that is designated, 100% of the profits are going to go towards our nonprofits that are going to need some extra help after all of this. So it is very encouraging. And ladies, thank you so much for being such a positive light in our community. I'm really grateful to have been here with you today and that we got to share this with all of the folks watching on Facebook. So thank you again. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your quarantine time. Hopefully it won't be too much longer.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.